Hey gang, welcome back to Zero's Hobbies, and thank you once again for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Uh, it's that time of year again. It's the holidays, and December is upon us, and we're almost near Christmas. So this month didn't get too much done. Well, it didn't. I didn't get as much done as I would have liked. I did get some stuff done though. I painted some. I started painting some buildings for fantasy and working some more on my orcs. I even pulled out one of my old Gundam model kits that I needed to finish and started working on that. And did some craft stuff. So it was productive. It just wasn't as productive as I would have normally liked. Like I usually try to stay busy every day. There was just a lack of motivation this time, and it happens. Sometimes you just lose that spark, you know what I mean, or you lose that burn, you know what I'm saying. And I was really high on the burn the last couple months, and I was just cranked because I was able to do it, you know what I mean. So I was just excited and getting stuff out, and I just ran into that burn, you know what I mean. So um I cut back a bit, and again, not for wanting to, but I just had a lack of motivation, man. And I know a lot of us go through that. You know what I'm saying? Like we get on a kick and we're very creative, and our minds are just flowing with ideas and try these colors and try that, and let's try some blending for the first time. You know what I mean? But sometimes you just, and then filming, we just lose motivation sometimes, and we slow down, and it sometimes it takes a toll. Sometimes it's long time period of non-work, and sometimes it's short. I was lucky because I did do work while I was while I had lack of motivation. But again, like I said, I would have liked to have done more. But it's the holidays coming up and everything. Thanksgiving just passing, and all that stuff. And I'm doing some planning on my Discord for a special event. And no, these aren't excuses. This is just what's happening right now for me. But I did get some stuff done. Like I said, I'm going to show you in a minute, and I'm excited about what I got done. I'm actually very proud of it. So where I'm at so far, I would like to do more. And like I said, I would like to get better at what I'm doing, and more efficient is probably the better term. But I'm getting there. We're getting into it. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to do different things so that I'm not burning out on one specific thing. You know what I mean? So take a look, and then we'll talk to you afterwards. All right, sit tight. Hey guys, so another project I've been holding off for years and years and years and years is a graveyard, and I'm just gonna little by little knock over some little obstacles, or not obstacles, but like just hit those little hurdles. But I have some of these Ender Toys 3D printed plastic graves. It came with a bunch of them, so you've got these. They've got like a stable, you see how they got like a stable base. These ones don't. They're pretty much like a single, you know what I mean. Even the one with the base is actually so thin, any little thing will topple them over. And then I got some 3D printed ones from a friend. These are resin, but again, they're very thin, and I want to just kind of stabilize them so that they don't just tip over. He painted them, but and then I like it, so I'm just gonna keep it like that. I'm just gonna touch up some of the spots, but I really like that big one in the back. But yeah, I'm just basing them with some simple plastic card. I'll put glue and sand around the base, just to kind of like tie it in with the rest of the board. I'll put a picture up of the board that the concept of the board that I have for the graveyard. But so far, this is gonna help me just keep them when I place them down on the table, because I'm not 100% of whether or not I want to glue everything down to the board, or leave the board, like do the scenery on the board and then have all this stuff as extra, placeable scenery. You know what I'm saying? Because once you glue that, that's it. That board is permanent, and you've got to store it, and I don't have a lot of storage space. So I'm also working, again, on those dead trees for the cemetery, and they're really bright right now, but I'm gonna darken them up and make them look spooky. And I've got some other projects I'm working on, and again, another Ender Toys product, 3D printed houses, like fantasy houses. They're not that big. Like, those doors are pretty small. I mean, look at that gravestone next to that door, you know what I'm saying? So they're pretty small. But I guess if you had 25mm miniatures, it should fit, right? Like, they should fit, but like, obviously Space Marine looks just right because they're supposed to be big, but you know what I mean. Most things are on 32mm bases now, so it's like really hard to like get a good scaling, but this is perfect for just simple wargaming. And this is just these are all three just simple block pieces. There's no, you know, roofs or anything like that to worry about. It's just, you just place it down and it's blocking terrain. That's all it is. Or themed, you know, if you want to put it in the background of your photos and stuff, which is why I want to paint these guys up. And they're going to tie into like the stable, you know, that I have. So we're going to, you know, this is all just part of the village that we're building, or the town that we're building. And this is just added stuff. Like, I have most of the buildings on bases, like this one, you know, it's got an actual base on it, but these ones won't. These are just going to be drop down buildings, like, you know, so we can put them wherever we want and squeeze them in between other buildings. But yeah, there you go. Just a little quick project that I'm working on. Well, quick, like maybe a 7-8 year project I've been holding off on, gathering bits little by little. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. Okay, so here's the 3D printed houses, and I just got started throwing some cheap color on. I was using some of the craft paints, and I mixed some black and some white to get just a basic gray. And you know, you could see that there's places that the paint didn't go into. Craft paint's a little weird. It's like some are like thick, some are really thin, you know, but this is okay because this is just a groundwork. It's not meant to be like the final approach, but you know, I just wanted to get the groundwork done. Did the chimneys, did all the chimneys in gray stone. Did some gray stone at the bottom of this one because it just looked like it had brick, so I'm gonna do that. And then I'll probably be painting this some kind of like ivory color, just like that, or maybe a gray, I don't know. The chimney as well. But yeah, I just got started on it because I just wanted to kind of see what the colors would look like, and I had a couple hours to just wait because I was doing some other stuff. But there you go. That's it so far. Nothing major. Hopefully maybe I can get these done by the end of the week. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. All right. Hey guys, all right. So I just decided to throw some paint on these buildings. I'm using ivory. What is this? Craftsmart craft paint that I just picked up. Because I didn't want to waste regular paint on this stuff. But it's a little sloppy right now. But this is just two coats. Well, 3 actually, because I dry brushed the first one, and then I was like, all right, let me just go over it with regular paint. And I did the same thing on this one, and it's sloppy, and I know that, but it's gonna get cleaned up, you know, once I do the wood trim. And you know, I'm gonna try some stuff with contrast and see how we do. I might dirty up the white a little bit more after, like once I get, like you can see here, it's thin, and that's just the nature of the craft paint. But once I get the trim done, then I might dirty up the bone a little bit, or the ivory a little bit, just because, you know, I don't want it to be pristine. You know what I'm saying? The town that we have, it's supposed to be gloomy. And I started on the stable, putting some paint down. I got some, you can see inside the stable. It was pretty tricky to get the brush in there, but this was just dry brush. This is what it looks like, just dry brushing. So I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with those, go over it with another brush and just paint on the colors. Look at that, it pulled up some of the primer. It's weird, but yeah, it's going. I totally didn't realize when we did this, we did nothing in the back. Like all the lattice work we put everywhere, we put nothing here. I don't know why we did that, but whatever, it's done. It is what it is. But I did some of the interior as well, because just in case you see it from the outside, you know what I mean. And I got to reattach the spyglass. We had the spyglass right here, and that's why there's a crack in the roof. Somebody's laying around just keeping an eye on stuff. Threw some barrels in there because, you know, barrels. Yeah. Just some stuff from one of the other scenery kits. I got a little shovel. There's a little pile of poop. I got paint. It was inside the wheelbarrow, but it fell, obviously. But yeah, I forgot, I actually put little horse hoofs in the sand. I don't know how I did that. I probably did it with a paper clip. But yeah, as the sand was curing, I remember just tap, 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 tap. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was a paper clip. It was a paper clip bent and hooked. And I was like, yeah, this is a stable. Where are the horse prints? So I just threw in as many as I could. But yeah, we're getting it now. Got a watering hole. We've got the water spigot there, and then we've got some latches for horses to tie up your horses. This stuff is real. This is a scenery kit. This was a, damn it, I can't remember the name of the scenery kit. I did a video on it. They came with all these little giblets. You know, the poop, the wheelbarrow, this, the spout. And some of the barrels, and I just put them on the stable because I was like, yeah, that's perfect for a stable. It's like a farm thing, but whatever. I was like, it fits. But anyway, yeah, that's where I'm at with the buildings. And I got some more colors back there. I'm gonna do the roofs and, you know, everything. We're gonna get it up. We're gonna get it done. All right, sit tight, guys. Okay, so I had picked up this miniature from AliExpress. This is one of those. I don't know if it's a recast or yeah, it has to be because there's no print value on it. So, and I don't know who makes it, but it's basically a goblin or Gretchen or Grot or whatever. It looks like a Gretchen because it's pretty big, and he's sitting on a missile or rocket, right? And he's looking through an empty metal box. Right? And like he's got these glasses on. Okay. So I'm assuming they're like either magnifying glasses or whatever. You know, the orcs do whatever. There's a microphone there. So I'm assuming he's like announcing something. And here's a little, it comes with a little antenna you put on top. Okay. So my question is, do I leave him? This is a 40 millimeter base. Okay. Do I leave him on the 40 mil? Or do I put him on the 50 mil to do a little bit more, to do something more creative with like scenery or something? Hang on a second. Let's get this guy on here so you guys can see the difference. Of course. But there'll just be more room. I mean, obviously he still has to be close to the box because he's the announcer. So I don't know. I'm thinking the 50 because there's more space for gubbins on the scenery base. Or do I go with a bigger base? I don't know. He could be an objective marker or, you know, for actual games. But I could also put him on the Orc Fortress. Just for fun. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. All right, so we're 3 layers in on the ivory, and this building took so much, and there's you could still see through it. It's still patchy, so I'm just gonna chalk that up to old paint. You know, like that's the worst side right there, and I don't even want to fill that in. It's gonna take the whole bottle. But yeah, I tried to get as much paint in as possible so you could see more of some of the details. I mean, I might do another coat. I don't know. Because I'm gonna wash it and then I'm gonna dirty it up. So I'm thinking this is fine. And if I need to, I can dry brush back up. Like you know what I mean? Like just in the certain areas, I'll dry brush back up. But otherwise, I think this is a good point, and I'll start on another color. And the same thing with these guys. You know, difference is like this foam core is a bit more absorbent than this plastic, you know, or yeah, plastic. So it's a little, you know, painting this is a little different than painting that, but we know we'll get it. And I did this one, but I did it in gray because it's stone. I think I showed you guys that already, but I'm going to do some washing and some first I'm going to do some coloring because I actually want to color some of these stones different colors. You see the paint didn't set in all the way. That's okay because it gives it a variety. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to cover it all, but just the nature of the paint. So I'm going to try and pick out certain stones, different colors, you know, and then I'll wash the whole thing. And then I finally do the roofs. I was going to do the roofs right away, but then I was like, no, it's probably better to do this stuff first because it's the messier process. Like you can see where, you know, the dry brushing got all over the place. You know, that's okay because I'm going to use colors to fix that. But yeah, I think the roofs are going to go last. But there you go. Still working on them. Hey guys, just wanted to kind of show you what I was working on. Family project. This was supposed to be, I was supposed to get these done in the fall. There were some fall decorations from like Michaels. They're like wood, you know, so balsa wood or something. And I had them primed for a long time, but I never really got a chance to work on them. So I started working on them today, just to take a break from the fantasy houses and the miniatures. But this is a scarecrow, and I just use basic craft colors, and you could see I still gotta like cover up some color on certain spots. Try to do a little shading, you know, some blush. That was pretty cool. Some mixing of colors. And then I started on the Mr. Fox just recently, so he's still, I just threw down the base colors, and I've got to like clean up and do shadows, and I'm gonna throw down a bunch of white here. So he's still a work in progress. Well, they both are technically, but yeah, just kind of wanted to show you guys, you know, work on more stuff than just minis. All right, see you in a bit. All right, so I gave these guys another coat of ivory, and I think I'm gonna go up to a lighter color for the very last layer, just on the centers of each panel. I had some colored stone, so I used the ivory. I used the Fang from Games Workshop, so it's like a grayish blue, and I used a lighter gray. Want to say Pallid Witch Flesh. No, it's not Pallid Witch Flesh. It's another one. It's one of those Eldari names, but it's a lighter gray. Just really subtle, because I don't want it to, like the ivory is the most obnoxious, but when I do the wash, it should pull them all together a lot better. But yeah, still working on them, still going. And like I said, I just got this big thing covered again. So like I said, I got to finish this part right here. I missed the spot, but we'll get that going, and then we'll see what color we put in next. All right, sit tight. All right, so I wanted to take a break from all the crafting and painting and stuff, and just kind of build some models. So I dipped back into the Leviathan box, and I'm going to build the Stern Guard or Veteran Guard or whatever they're called, and then the Lieutenant and the Apothecary. Hopefully we'll get that done today, and then I still have a lot of the little Tyranid to build. So we'll keep going and see how we do. Alright guys, so here I am. I got one red roof, one blue roof, and then I did stables with green. There's still a lot of see-through because it's craft paint, but whatever, we'll fix that. I still have this guy, and I'm not sure what color to paint him. I don't want to go too crazy because I know I did red and blue and green because we have other buildings in the village that have those colors. So I kind of wanted to keep them together, but I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. All right, but that's where I'm at. All right, so these are the Stern Guard Veteran. They're built. I don't have them glued to the base because I'm going to do bases separate, like I did with the Orcs. And I just think I like that process. I'm really digging the process of that, so we're going to do that again with these guys. They're all armed slightly differently. I mean, this guy's got a scope. They've all got bolt rifles. I mean, he's got a heavy bolter. What is that? Yeah, it's a pistol. And he's got a Melta gun, it looks like. Yeah, Melta. So
they're a cool little squad, and they're supposedly be able to like access all kinds of weapons and stuff like that. So that's why they're vets. But it'd be interesting to paint them. But yeah, there you go. I'm gonna work on the next models. I think they're gonna be probably some lictors, or I don't know, maybe just the Tyranid. Okay, so I got the last two Space Marines done. I didn't jump on the Tyranid just yet, but the Apothecary in Gravis armor. He's pretty cool. I like the container he's carrying. You know it's full of blood. And of course his back. Oh, I gotta get that little piece of a little bit there. Oh, gotta get that. And then the Lieutenant in Phobos armor. And I think we've got a couple of these guys now, like, or at least I do, I know. But he's pretty cool. I mean, I like his pose. He does have a bolter back there, or a bolt rifle with a flamethrower attached to it, looks like. Which is kind of cool, kind of fits the theme of the box. But, I mean, if there were other guys in Phobos armor, I'd agree, but, you know, it's whatever. I can throw them in wherever I need to. All right, let's get to these Tyranid. All right, this stable is becoming tedious. It's there's so many cuts and corners and nooks and crannies on this damn thing. So I tried to get as much of the wood colored stuff as I could. So I got the well, or the trowel, and I got the shovel, the wheels, the poop. See the poop? Little poops. I'm gonna change the color of that a little bit. I got a ladder. There's an axe up there. I totally missed that. There's a hand axe there. I didn't even realize there was a hand axe there. I still got the hooks to do. And I did the big wagon in the back. Some barrels. I know there's barrels. Yep, barrels. Yeah. There's barrels in there. Jesus Christ. We put so much stuff in this thing that's never going to be seen or used. But I'm going to paint it anyway because, you know, I'm crazy like that. But there you go. There you go. I'm gonna keep going. Carry on. Okay, we're still going. I did a bit more detailing. Actually, this time around, I retouched up the roofs. So this has got another coat of green on it. This one's got another coat of blue. I got to do another coat of brown and then another coat of red. Well, the red, no, I'm going to leave the red as it is because I like it like that. Because I'm going to hit it. I tried using some Army Painter Dark Tone for the first time. I've never used it before. I did it on the bricks down there. Not really sure how I feel about it because the texture of the bricks is not really smooth. It's real pocked. So it's really, there was no place for the wash to run. But it did do something really cool on the roof because I tagged it when I was moving stuff around, and I just used the rest of what was on the brush. Now this is a watered down amount because I watered it down just a bit. I didn't want it super dark, but I'm gonna try something and I'm gonna see if it works with the dark tone. See how that makes, because I don't like when I do my highlights. I used to do it like, what I used to do was I would paint the base color, I would do the wash, and then I would do the highlight. Right, like that's pretty common, right? Like, so, but I've learned with Agrax Earthshade, Null Oil, and a couple other different shades or washes that you could, if you really wanted deeper, like a deeper tone, you could do your base coat, then do your highlights, and then give it a wash. Because the wash, no matter how bright the highlight is compared to the base color, that wash will tie them both together. It will smooth out the transition between light and dark. It'll still give you your shades, but it'll give that highlight a little blending with the regular tone that you're using. So I'm gonna do that, and that's just I don't know. I tried it once and it worked out really well on some miniatures, and I'm like, I'm just gonna keep trying this technique until I find a situation where it doesn't work. But I think it'll work. So we're gonna see. But yeah, there you go. I think that's we're gonna call it for the day. All right, so got the lictors done, or excuse me, Van Ryan leapers, like a barrel of monkeys. They're interesting looking. They're definitely more dynamic than the original ones. I have a bunch of them, like the metal ones. And I wasn't gonna get any more of these just because a lictor is a lictor. It doesn't matter. These guys do look a lot cooler though. They don't have the claws, the secondary claws, like the rending claws like they used to. They just have the talons. So I mean, I guess it's more built for like more attacks and less damage, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they'll make. I mean, the lictors that might come out later maybe have optional parts. These are monopose, so you have to put them like this. It kind of sucks because I'm gonna probably. I think I'm gonna cut this down, use some green stuff, and kind of bring it down. Both of these parts, kind of like that one. And I know it kind of looks lame. You know what I'm saying? But trust me when I tell you, just having the original ones posed the way they were, these things are really hard to transport. They're really hard to put in storage cases. Tyranid alone are already difficult to put in storage cases, minus the tiny ones like the Termagants and Hormagaunts, you know. But most of the other Tyranid are just very difficult because they're big, they're posed funky, and they've got a ton of spiky little bits all over the place. So they're really hard to store. So transporting these guys is going to be a pain in the ass. Nice that they're plastic though, because I mean, you could probably just repair it, but I don't want to have to be repairing these guys every time I take them somewhere. But yeah, they're cool. I mean, they got a really cool face now. Before it was just like tendrils hanging from their face, but this is cooler. They got little mandibles and tendrils, which is nice. They kind of have that more of a bug-like appearance than a big lizard man appearance, which is kind of cool. Alright, so I got the Neurogaunts done, or at least built. Again, I don't have anything glued to the base because I don't know what I'm going to do with the bases yet. But these guys are interesting. They're really small. They don't have any eyes. They've got little plates, chitinous armor over their eyes. In the stat block, it only shows the close combat weapons, which is the little talons, and they're not very strong. But I feel like this is, I don't know. And then there's a leader, like you get 10 of them, okay, and they're all uniquely posed. I mean, they look like they could be alike, but they're not. They're each one is different. And what's interesting is not like, say, like the orcs from the Combat Patrol where you get 20 guys, but they're all, it's like 2 of each guy, and then you get the heavies, and then you get the knobs. This is like, they're really hard to tell just because of the way they're all hunched over, and pretty much the only real difference is the position of the legs and the claws. But the position of the legs is you can hardly, you know what I mean? It's not very noticeable. So you could probably get a bunch of these guys and you wouldn't be able to tell too much. And plus they're tiny, so they're on 25 millimeter bases, so they're tiny. And this guy, he's with them. He's another Neurogaunt. I don't know, not sure. I got to look at the book and see, but he's got like a little brain thing there. So I can only assume that these are some sort of like conduit for the the synapse. You know what I'm saying? Like they produce or conduct synapse. Like maybe you have a synapse creature over here, and you've got another non-synapse creature over here. But because these guys are here, they extend the synapse range. Maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna look it up. That would be pretty smart or cool to do, but you never know. I mean, it could be something as simple as, no, they just have poison or something. You know what I mean? So who knows? But they're done, and on to, I've got like a few more guys to build, and then I think the box should be done. Oh no, I got Termagants. Termagants. All right, we'll see you in a bit. Okay, some more work on these stables because these guys are really simple, and there's just a few more things I have to do that I want to do on this one as well that I have to wait for. But let's kind of show you what I did here. I did some more green. I think I said that already. On the rooftops, I added some more brown to the horse posts. I added a mix of blue some green, and then a little bit of contrast ice to give it some little bit of water in there, because I'm going to pour some resin in there, or not pour some resin, but use some hard coat from Games Workshop. I painted some poop and wheelbarrow. Tried to get some color in there. Let me see, you can see it. So I went with some brown and then a very thin down wash of Athonian Camo Shade, because it's, it's a nice already transparent green, but it turns real, like, I don't want to say fuzzy, but it has like a flat, very flat finish. So I had, this was the very last of the bottle, so I watered it down so I could use it kind of like a glaze. And then I did just some ochre, on there, and painted the shovel. And as you can see, I used the old school Steel Legion Drab, which used to be called Graveyard Earth. But this was a big bottle that came in the scenery box. If you bought the painting scenery box, it came with one of these and then like 3 or 4 highlighting colors. So it was a pretty cool set too. It was only like $35-40, man, which you can't, man, for that bottle size, you couldn't beat it. But anyway, we darkened it up. And then I added some more Athonian Camo Shade stains just to kind of give it some, horses go where they want, right? They don't have a toilet. So, and then I dry brushed it with a combination of bone and light tone and some burnt umber ink mix. So, just to give it the look of tread, like people are moving around or moving about through it. And dry brushed a little bit of bone over the barrels, some on the wagon, because I still have to touch up some stuff. Like the wagon wheel has to be painted, so the same thing with these, like the metal. And I'm saving metal for completely last, because I don't want, metal is just hard to cover up. Dry brushed the hay bales. I still have to do the little straps. And what else did I do? Painted the inside of the roof. I actually just did this. And I mixed the color just to kind of get going. I tried to make this the same color as the hay bales, like this is just loose hay. This is where they stack the hay bales and eventually it just gets loose. Painted the little pad here for the seat for the spyglass. Got a little axe there I got to finish. Again, more metal. And then some chopped wood. I did some more coloring inside the stables, so we got some more stains, some more dry brushing. Started dry brushing those little barrels. I still have to do that lantern. And I'm going to make it so that the lantern's on, because the village or the town that we're painting is pretty much like all the buildings have lights on, because it's supposed to be more towards nighttime. So that's why we went with a darker look for most of everything. But yeah, that's where we're at with the stables. And I just wanted to see if this looked good. And of course I can't. Oh, there he is. I was looking for my little guy. You guys tell me if you think it's worth it putting them on there. Let's see. Gotta put the roof on, right? Gotta put the roof on. There you go. Sir Eric. Hopefully it looks right and doesn't take a lot of damage and travel and all that stuff, but Sir Eric's ready for his perch. Alright guys, we'll see you in a bit. Alright, so the barb gaunts are done. Interesting. They're carrying some kind of ranged weapon. It looks like it. I don't know if it's the barb strangler from the previous edition or it's just a new version of it that they carry. And they're all kind of posed a little differently, so that's kind of nice. I mean, there's only 5, and I don't know how many go in a unit just yet. I'm assuming these 5, but sometimes it's like 5 to 10 or whatever. But it's kind of cool. They look like a small artillery piece, although the weapon isn't an artillery piece. It's just a ranged weapon, 24 inches, which is not that great. Well, it might be a barb strangler because barbs were 24 inches before. But they're interesting. It's interesting that they call them gaunts because they're definitely bigger. If they stood up, it'd probably be, I don't know, let me see. Yeah, they'd probably be as big as a Van Ryn Leaper, or maybe even bigger if they stood upright. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Their scaling is very interesting because I mean, then you've got like the little tiny Neurogaunts, you know, that just sit there. I mean, those guys are tiny. These are on 40 millimeter bases. This is 25 mil. So it's interesting. And it's interesting how they play with the scales. And the Tyranid, you could make them as big or as small as you want. It doesn't matter because they're really not. I mean, I guess you could scale them to the Space Marines, like the Warriors and stuff, and the Tyrants. But all these new guys, you could pretty much make them whatever you want. You know what I mean? They're pretty cool, though. All right, on to the next ones. Okay, so Mr. Fox and the Scarecrow are done. I can touch up the brown a little bit. Probably do it again because it's craft paint, so it just keeps reactivating the old paint. But yeah, it's all right. And I think I'll matte coat these when the weather gets warmer so that you know that they're protected. I gotta get those lines. Damn it. Dick. Okay, so I finished the 20 Termagants. Jesus, they're not difficult. It's just a lot. And I finished the Ripper Swarms, but I lost somehow, or I can't find one of the Ripper Swarms. There's two. There's one with the peg, and then there's one that connects to the one with the peg. I have the one that connects to the one with the peg, but the one with the peg is gone. I'm going to check the box thoroughly and make sure it's not loose in there, because I found a couple other loose parts. But we'll see. I mean, worst comes to worst, I'll glue the one on, and it'll be done with. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I know I got Rippers. I have Rippers all over the place. They're in toolboxes, or I just bits that either fell off of an older model or just didn't make it onto one. Whatever, I'll fix it. But yeah, 20 Termagants down. So now I believe I have everything built from the Leviathan box set. So hopefully I can get that video done soon. All right, guys. Quick hobby vlog update. Haha. So they're all built. Everything's built. Tyranid, I finally built the Leapers, and the Termagants. They're so tedious. It's frustrating me. But whatever. They're built. Everything's built. So look out for the unboxing video. All right, so I decided to take a break from building minis and doing craft stuff because I got more craft stuff now. My wife got me a gnome and a nutcracker. This one's going to my in-laws because she loves gnomes, so I'm gonna paint this one up real nice. And this is gonna go obviously for us, but whatever. I'm gonna paint that up real nice too. Let's take a break. But I had this old Grandpa Gundam, this 148 scale, this big guy. He's the same scale as that guy. So I just realized I got a lot of stuff to finish. Like, got to clean up all these lines, and some places don't have panel lining done, and I wanna do that before I start slapping paint on the white, because I have to dry brush. You know, I have to start putting in the shading, and I'm gonna dry brush it. I was gonna airbrush it, but I'm just not confident with the airbrush yet. So I gotta work on my confidence with that. And you see here, like, there's spots I gotta kind of tag with the pen, and then I'm gonna go over it with some white paint to clean up some of the mess. So today I'm gonna try and work on some of the white. This has just been primed white, and then stone gray. Yeah, it's like a stone gray. So just to break up the color, because the original Grandpa was just like pure white and red and blue and yellow, and I kind of wanted to give it some breakup in the color so you can see some more. You know, it draws the eye to the details. But yeah, I still got a lot to do. I got a couple models that I've primed, but I haven't actually bothered to paint or what, because I've been, you know, obviously the last couple years have been bumpy. But here we go, man. We're gonna try and get Grandpa done so we can get him standing up and get him displayed. I mean, you gotta respect the Grandpa, right? All right, guys, I'll see you in a bit. Well, it was inevitable. Eventually, with these pens, you make mistakes and you have to clean them up. So I had to break the paints out, get some stuff touched up, like right there. You see that red, that silver splotchy there. That just, my hands were shaky, but it's all right. We'll clean it up. We'll get them cleaned up. And then I'm gonna start shading some of the other parts, like some of the white parts. I don't know, but I kind of went crazy with the golden chrome pen. There's chrome and everything. So, see you in a bit. Okay, so I figured something out. That chrome and silver paint does not, it must have a very strong coat because it doesn't take 2 washes very well. So I might just repaint this with some silver. It sucks because I went through everything, you know, but it is what it is. It must be just really, really smooth, you know, which is nice. I mean, if you're doing a final, but you see how it just blotted up. That's not gonna, you know what I mean? It's fine because it's a mechanical part, so I want it to be kind of grungy, but more than that, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna figure something out. Figure it out because, like I said, there's a lot of parts that I did silver and gold on, so might not be the smartest thing, but you know, trial and error, right? All right, I'll be back. Okay, I just wanted to kind of show you guys where I was at with Grandpa. I repainted some of the leg parts, did some little, I threw some more wash on there and some silver on the edges and stuff like that, but I'm going to redo the weathering all at one time. I threw more wash over this, and I'm just going to keep putting some more wash over until it actually gets to the color I want. But, you know, I dry brushed a bunch of the white parts, and it looks dirty, it looks dingy, like from a distance it'll look more weathered, but you'll still see the outlines, which is what I really wanted. I'm gonna clean it up with white, but not too much, because after I do the white, I'm gonna do a lot of weathering, like heavy weathering. Grandpa look old, so I dry brushed. You can see here with the gray, kind of went a little heavy on the dry brush, so I'm gonna have to go with some white and kind of clean it up a little bit. But I don't know. I mean, from a distance, like I said, when you're looking at it, it gives you the outline of what's there. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of why I do the dry brush like that. So you got like the thigh armor. See, like here it was just heavy. So I can clean that up a little bit with some dry brushing white. But I don't want to dry brush too much white, because I don't know if the pots of white that I have will match this color spray, because I think this is Vallejo white acrylic spray. So I'll have to look and see what I have. So you can see I did, like, this is one of the shoulders. No, I'm sorry. This is the leg joint, the hip joint. Yeah, that's a hip joint. At the foot, top of the foot. And we've got the shoulder armor. So it gives it a little bit of color, you know, a little more color than just plain white. Because I don't like how Gundams look like. People paint them and they look like super clean, and I'm not a fan of that. Get the shield with some light dry brushing and inking some of that metallic silver. The camera's not really picking it up, man, but it's bright. Some more metallic inside, you know. That chrome, that silver just looks ridiculous. This is actually lead belcher from Games Workshop, but that silver, man, from those markers just looks really good. But yeah, there we go. That's Grandpa. He's still getting worked on, so stay tuned for the next vlog, and hopefully I'll have some more work done on him. Alright guys, we'll see you in a bit. Hey guys, back at it again with the orcs. This time I am shading them with some null oil. Well, I based them in bulk gun metal, as you can see, but then so this is what it looks like with just the bulk gun metal. I really like the finish of the bulk gun metal spray. It's so smooth. A little too smooth, because you got to really work the wash if you just throw it right on top. But yeah, I got some of these. I just did the dragster, and you can see it brings out some of the details. But this isn't the only wash I'm gonna do. And I'm not very neat with it either, because it's works. So I'm gonna, throw on another coat of wash, probably some Null Oil, and then some Agrax Earthshade, and maybe some other stuff, because I want to weather it to match the bases. So we'll see. There might be some oranges and some not a lot of rust. There'll be some rust. I do plan on putting rust, but not a lot. So just a couple more to go, and then we'll see. Okay, so first coat of Null Oil on all the vehicles, and then we're gonna get to, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I got these Knights sitting here, and I got a little bit left with Null Oil, and I'm gonna Null Oil up some of these Knights because they need some love too. So let me start doing that. I'll get back to you guys.
Okay, so there we go, man. As you see, I gotta try to get as much done as I could. I'm exceptionally proud of the poop that I painted, because how often do you get to paint a pile of poop? So it was entertaining for me, to say the least. But as you can see, I worked on a bunch of stuff. I'm still working on my beard clipper challenge of just getting stuff done, and I was told, it doesn't have to be 100% complete, although that would be great. It just has to be worked on, and I sent them some photos and stuff of some stuff I've been working on, and I just want to make sure that I continue on with that tradition. And for January, or for at least 2024, my goals are pretty simple with my hobby. Is obviously get more painting done and get more detailed painting done, because now I've worked on some big stuff and some some larger type models, but now I want to get cracking on the smaller ones. I want to finish up that Orc Combat Patrol and the rest of the Orc Army. To be honest with you, I'm working on between the buggies and everything, and I just picked up a new buggy, and probably my last 3D model to buy ever, God willing. But yeah, I just want to get stuff done. I want to be able to take that Combat Patrol to a friend's house or to a store and play with it and be proud that it's done. You know what I mean? And even with the buggies, if I add the buggies, it's definitely a bigger army. But I'd like to have that stuff done so that when I go to play, I'm not looking at gray. I'm looking at least a majority of the models painted. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always a great feeling when you're setting up on a great looking table and your opponent has a nice finished army, whether it's done well or not. If it's finished to them, that's always a cool thing. So I want to get that done. That's my goal. Also, more long-term throughout the year is we've got a special event going. In September, we're planning for a Discord event where most of the people on my Discord are going to be meeting up at a lodge that was that we're renting to get together and play games and hang out and just get to know each other on a personal level. I mean, I've been talking to these guys for over 5 years, and I really feel close to them. Some of them I met in real life, and I really would like to meet the rest of them. And it's always been a goal of mine. So hopefully we can get that to happen and we can make it work. And I got people coming from Bulgaria, man. I got people coming from, lower United States, and man, it would be great to even have some of the guys from Canada come down. But it is what it is time wise, and we're gonna see. And I'm gonna try and do some footage of that, if the guys will let me. You know what I'm saying? And they're all YouTubers too, so maybe they might do some stuff too. So look forward to that coming in September 2024. But yeah, like I said, that's mainly my goal, is to get more painting and building done. Well, get the building done, because that's always the first part, but get more painting done. That's just my goal. And I'm going to try and stick to it. I'm going to try to just set myself up for time, give myself a couple hours a day just to do that. And I think if you do that, if you give yourself a couple hours a day, even if it's a short amount of time, man, even if it's an hour a day, or something like that, because it takes time to set up, right? You take, considering how much time it takes to set up your paints. I have a desk and I have a workstation, but it's not always set up for one thing or another. But whatever, however you do that, even if you paint that much a day, you think about that, like 365 days for the year. And let's say you cut out the holidays or whatever, or the weekends, because you're spending time like me, when I spend time with my family. you're still getting a lot done. That's, 50 weeks. That's, you're getting a lot done. And your talent, your skill set will grow like exponentially. You won't even realize it because you're going to be looking at your models at the beginning and you're like, oh, I guess I got to fix that, or I got to fix that. By the end of the year, you're not even thinking about, oh, I got to fix this or I got to fix that. You're probably going to be thinking like, should I wet blend? Should I feather? What should I do with this model? Should I highlight with dry brushing or use an airbrush? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, the talent is there. You're just going to build on it, and those skills are just going to get better and better. But anyway, that's my goal for the next year, and I'm hoping again to get more videos out for you guys. I really like these vlog videos, so I apologize for taking up all your time. If you're still here, I really appreciate it. But set yourself a goal. Set yourself even a small little hurdle. Just anything to set yourself up for success down the line. If you paint miniatures, right? Set yourself, say, hey, you know what? I'm painting ultramarines. Okay, get all the blue on. Just start by getting all the blue on, and you're gonna look at that after a little while. Oh, these guys are blue. What other colors do I need? Gold for the trim and the eagles and stuff. All right, let's get the gold on. And then by the end of the year, those guys should be done, depending on how many you have. And if you're like, unless you're like me, where you're just constantly buying, but that's a different story. But you just start small, and your goals will get bigger as the hurdles get bigger. But they'll be easier to achieve. You know what I mean? Start with small goals. I'm gonna paint 2,000 points of guys in 2 weeks. You can do it if you've got the skills and you've got everything set up. But that's not a likely goal for the beginning. You start small. Paint 5 guys. Paint 10 guys next. Paint 5 guys or 10 guys together. Paint a vehicle and 5 guys. Paint a bigger vehicle and 10 guys. You know what I mean? Like, you'll just progressively get better the more you do it. But anyway, I rambled on long enough. I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas if you celebrate, and if you don't, I hope and pray that you're with your family and your loved ones and you celebrate together, or however you do it, or just be together. It's so important that you're with your family. I have very little family left that I consider family, so trust me when I tell you, man, it's lonely without family. So celebrate the times you are together. Anyway, we'll see you on the next one.